You think you know what time is. You feel time passing. You see the clock ticking. You grow older. You change. Time passes. You have learned that time is a dimension. That time flows in one direction. That time is constant. That time is universal. You have heard this hundreds of times. But here's the problem. You don't really understand what time is. No one does. Not even the world's greatest physicists can fully describe what time really is. They can describe what time does. They can measure it. They can calculate it. But what is time? No one knows, except Max Planck. Planck didn't answer the question directly, but he discovered something that completely changed how we understand time. A discovery so profound that it changed the way we see reality. In this video, I'll show you what Planck discovered, why you never understood time before, and most importantly, why it changes everything you thought you knew about time. But before we begin, if you want to understand the greatest mysteries of the universe, subscribe to the channel. Click the subscribe button now, because I'm going to reveal things that will completely change how you see reality. Stay with me until the end, because by the end, you'll understand why time is much stranger than anyone imagines. You think time is simple? Time passes. Time flows. Time is a straight line from the past to the future. But time is not simple. Time is one of the greatest mysteries of physics. Time is something that no one can explain. Time is fundamental to understanding the universe. But what is time really? The problem that no one could solve. Let's go back to the end of the 19th century. It was 1890. Scientists thought they had it all figured out. They knew what time was. Time was a dimension. Time flows in one direction. Time is constant. Time is universal. Simple. But there was a problem that no one could solve. That problem was, why does time exist? Look, you have the universe. The universe has matter. Matter has energy. Energy changes, things happen. But why is time necessary for this? Why can't everything happen at once? Scientists couldn't answer that. They just accepted that time existed. That time was a dimension. That time was fundamental. But why? Then, in 1900, a man named Max Planck looked at this problem and did something radical. He questioned everything. The assumption that changed everything. Max Planck was working on a very specific problem, the problem of black body radiation. He was trying to understand how hot objects emit radiation. He was trying to calculate what radiation would be emitted at each temperature. But there was a problem. The theory didn't work. So Planck made an assumption so strange that he himself didn't completely believe it. He said, what if energy isn't continuous? What if energy came in packets? How much? With this simple idea, he solved the problem of black body radiation. Completely, perfectly, but more importantly, he discovered something very profound about the nature of reality. He discovered that fundamental reality is not continuous. It is discrete, quantized. It comes in packets. And that changes everything, because if reality is quantized, then time is also quantized. Quantized time. Think about that for a second. If reality is made up of discrete packets of energy, then time must also be discrete. This means that time is not continuous. Time does not flow smoothly. Time comes in packets. Time is quantized. There is a minimum size of time. A quantum of time, a fundamental unit of time. Planck calculated what that minimum size would be. He called it Planck time. Planck time is incredibly small. It is 10 to the minus 44 seconds. It is so small that it is impossible to measure. It is so small that it is impossible to observe. But it is there. It is fundamental. It is the basic unit of time. This means that you cannot have less than a Planck time. You cannot have fractions of a Planck time. Time comes in packets. Each packet is one Planck time. What this means. Now we come to the crucial point. What does this mean? If time is quantized, then what is time really? Time is not a continuous dimension. Time is a sequence of discrete moments. Each moment lasts one Planck time. You don't experience time as a continuous line. You experience time as a sequence of moments. Each moment is separated from the next by a Planck time. It's like a movie. A movie is not continuous. A movie is a sequence of frames. Each frame is a static image. When you watch a movie, you see a sequence of frames. Your brain interprets it as continuous motion. But in reality, it is a discrete sequence of images. Time is like that. Time is a sequence of discrete moments. Each moment is a frame. Your brain interprets it as continuous flow. But in reality, it is a discrete sequence of moments. Why you don't feel it? You may be thinking, if time is quantized, why don't I feel it? Why does time seem continuous to me? The answer is simple. Planck time is so small that it is impossible to observe. You have billions of Planck times in a second. It's like watching a movie with billions of frames per second. Your brain cannot process this. Your brain interprets it as a continuous flow, but in reality, time is discrete. Time comes in packets. Time is quantized. Time and space. But wait, there's more. Planck discovered that it's not only time that is quantized, space is also quantized. There is a minimum size of space, a quantum of space, a fundamental unit of space. Planck calculated what that minimum size would be. He called it the Planck length. The Planck length is incredibly small. It is 10 to the minus 35 meters. It is so small that it is impossible to measure. It is so small that it is impossible to observe. But it is there. It is fundamental. It is the basic unit of space. This means that you cannot have less than a Planck length. You cannot have fractions of a Planck length. Now, space comes in packets. Each packet is a Planck length. Quantized space-time. Now, we come to a very profound truth. If time is quantized and space is quantized, then space-time is quantized. Space-time is not continuous. Space-time is discrete. Space-time is made up of packets. Each packet is a volume of space-time. Each packet has a specific size. Each packet is a fundamental unit of reality. This completely changes how we understand the universe, because if space-time is quantized, then the universe is not smooth. The universe is not continuous. The universe is granular. The universe is made of packets. It's as if the universe is made of pixels. Pixels of space-time, pixels of reality. Profound implications. Now let's explore the implications of this. If time is quantized, then the past, present, and future are not really different. Because at a very deep level, time does not exist. There is only a series of discrete moments. Each moment is separate from the next. But there is no flow. There is no movement. There is no change. Everything you experience as change is actually a transition from one discrete moment to the next. You age because your body changes from one moment to the next. But there is no continuous flow of time. There is only a sequence of moments. Time and consciousness. But here is the deeper question. If time is quantized, then what is consciousness? Consciousness is the experience of time passing. Consciousness is the experience of change. Consciousness is the experience of movement through time. But if time does not flow, then how do you experience time passing? The answer is that you are experiencing a sequence of moments. Each moment is a different reality. Each moment is a different state of the universe. Your brain is processing this sequence of moments. Your brain is creating the illusion of continuous flow. But in reality, you are jumping from one moment to the next, from one state of the universe to the next. Time does not exist. And here we come to the deepest truth. Time does not exist. Time is an illusion created by the sequence of discrete moments. You are not moving through time. You are existing in a sequence of moments. Each moment is a different state of you. Each moment is a different reality. Your brain connects these moments. Your brain creates the illusion of continuity. Your brain creates the illusion of flow. But time does not really exist. There is only space-time. There is only a structure of discrete moments. There is only a quantized reality. Why, no one can explain it. And now we come to the final point. Why can't anyone explain time? Because time is fundamentally inexplicable in terms of human intuition. You can't visualize quantized time. You can't imagine what a Planck time is. You can't understand how time cannot exist. Because your intuition was developed to deal with large times. Times you can measure, times you can observe. But Planck time is so small that it is impossible to observe. It is impossible to measure. It is impossible to imagine. The best physicists in the world still cannot describe time completely. They can describe what time does. They can measure it. They can calculate it. But what is time? No one knows. And here is the most important detail. No one can explain why time is fundamentally mysterious. The final truth. So, what is the final truth about time? The truth is that time does not exist in the way you think it does. The truth is that time is quantized. Time comes in packets. Time is discrete. The truth is that there is a minimum size of time, a Planck time. The truth is that space is also quantized. Space comes in packets. Space is discrete. The truth is that space-time is quantized. Space-time is made up of packets. Space-time is fundamental. The truth is that the universe is much stranger than anyone imagines. The truth is that Max Planck discovered all of this, and it changed the way we understand time. But here's the most important detail. The truth is that you still don't fully understand time. No one does, not even the world's greatest physicists. But now you know more than you did before. Now you understand that time is quantized. Now you understand that time comes in packets. Now you understand that time is strange. The impact of Planck. Max Planck didn't just discover that energy is quantized. He discovered that fundamental reality is quantized. He discovered that time is quantized. He discovered that space is quantized. He discovered that space-time is quantized. This discovery led to a completely new understanding of how the universe works. This discovery led to questions that have not yet been answered, because quantization raises a fundamental question. Why? Why is reality quantized? Why isn't it continuous? Why is there a minimum size of time? No one knows. And that's the reason we continue to explore, because the universe always has more mysteries to reveal. Planck discovered one of those mysteries, and it changed everything. Conclusion. So now you know. You know what Planck discovered. You know why you never understood time before. You know that time is quantized. You know that time comes in packets. You know that time is strange. You know that reality is much stranger than anyone imagined. And you know that Max Planck discovered the key to understanding this strange reality. He discovered that everything comes in packets, that everything is quantized, that everything has a fundamental structure, and that changes everything, because now you understand. Now you know why time is the way it is. Now you know why reality is the way it is. And that's the reason you never understood time before. It's not because the explanation is bad, it's because reality is strange. And that's the beauty of physics. Now, if you want to continue learning about the greatest mysteries of the universe, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications, because I'm going to continue revealing things that will completely change how you see reality. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.